to break into the alternative real estate investment seminars are the game changer. Tired of traditional opportunities that seem out of reach or too mainstream to yield significant profits? Enter a smarter path with our expert-led seminars designed for aspiring investors eager to explore tax lien and deed investments. This platform offers tailored consultant services and detailed strategies for lucrative returns. Dive deep into expansive learning with on-demand real estate educational seminars and seize the moment to transform investment dreams into reality. Ready to unlock potential? Check us out today.
All right. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Secure Your Energy, and you're here with Lashley every Wednesday down at the Fulton County Adams Street Library. If you don't know what we do, we stream here live every Wednesday, as well as we hold in-person live seminars here at the library, focusing on economic development. But what makes this better is that what I have constructed in these sessions is not only giving the foundations to economic development for leaders in the Black community, low-income communities, or communities that's striving to make change, but what I have included is actionable items. What does that mean? As we go through our lecture, we're going to give you actionable items for you to incorporate into your actual business plan. Dun, 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 dun. Business plan, okay? And people are like, just a business plan. Yes, it's very important. You know why it's important? Because a great business plan can actually secure you an amazing loan. How are you? Welcome, welcome. An amazing loan. We just got started with streaming, so have a seat. We're getting people coming down, so thank you for coming in. All right, so guys, the goal today is to give you actionable items so you can, one, secure your energy, budget yourself, and at the same time have key indicators that you need on your business plan, okay? Let's just do a little flashback. If you have not and you missed it, you can go back. When we started our session earlier this month, we went into the concept of assets versus liability, just kind of rehashing what an asset versus a liability is, tangible and non-tangible, where that came with that comes with the people that you connect to, your ulterior motive, and the way that you actually do your business and how you run your household. So we went into assets versus liabilities, and we coupled that with information, talking about leverages through acquisition after that. And that's what we're going to follow up next week for. We got a surprise for you guys, for all my realtor loving people. We got a sneak peek for you guys. So we talked about creating leverage through acquisition, and we talked about that from a home perspective and a business perspective, because no matter what business you are, you want to create assets and have leverage, okay? So when we teach you these alternative methods on how to invest in real estate, it can help you in your business endeavors. So that's some of the things that we started talking about, so you can see the importance of ownership and other ways to go about that. And then last week, we went into marketing. The last 2 weeks, we were talking about market analyzation and the importance of doing that and how to navigate that. Now, the reason why I went into so much detail in last week's broadcast is because I found that that was the most robust and that was the most important part in my business plan that was very, very successful in securing me my first loan without actually having a really lucrative business. This is why I know the method I give you guys it works, okay? So with the market analyzation, you were looking at things for what it was, the reality of it, not what you want, what you like, but how your product would sell, how it would present to the people. We started talking about looking at your competition, what they're doing, how they're marketing their particular items, what's working for them, what's not, what avenues can you sell, what would be cheaper. All of this entails the market analyzation that we talked about last week. So I hope you took your notes and you went back and talked text the things that apply to you guys, because that's what we're going to do again this week. So this week we're going to move on into And y'all know, if y'all don't know, Lady Lashley loves to lecture. So the first thing we're gonna do is show the PowerPoint, and then the next part is gonna be a lecture where I'm gonna say, hey, just take some notes, it's very important, key. I'm gonna act like a professor and say it's a test, okay? So let's get it. The first thing we're gonna talk about is the basics like we always do. That is stretching every dollar, budgeting and saving tips for low income. And the reason why I say low income, and I don't, some people are like, oh, I'm not low income, I'm rich. No, when you start a business, you got low income because is low income probably coming in. So we need to budget and have that mindset. So that's why I say it starts at home with what you do at home as well as the values from the beginning of what you install in your kids. Because we're looking at longevity businesses that we can pass down to our kids. What's their priority? All of that. So just concepts we're going to go into right now. If you can see it, I do apologize. I don't have the regular way, but we came in a little bit late. But we're going to do it like this. So budget and saving tips for controlled income household. Control liability. So some of the concepts we're going to look at is the foundations, understanding your income and expenses, building a budget that works, identifying areas to cut back, strategies for saving money, very simple, and these are the things that we have to apply. And when we talk about it, it's going to just spark some bells in your head, like, okay, I can do this for home and I can do this for business. And the reason why we're going to talk about finances is because you're going to want to know and understand the importance of separating your personal and business, because we're creating two different identities. We're fixing the first one and we've been slacking, and then we're going into building a new identity under your business, okay? So addressing debt, what debt do you have realistically? How can I start this business? When can I start this business? Seeking assistance when needed. Ask for help. Don't be like me and how I used to be. Before, I used to hate asking for help because I wouldn't want to know. But once you learn that with selling you get 50 no's and 2 yes, and that could be the yes that just set your career, ask for help. So let's move on. Foundations, understanding your income and expenses. We want to keep in mind, track every penny, categorize your spending, and calculate in your net income. Some hard topics that we have to talk about, but that we don't address. People say, yeah, we know, but are you living it? Are you living it? So, tracking every penny for at least a month, and this is on your personal note, because your people who are new business owners, literally your personal profile is going to help you build your business profile. Does that make sense? New business owners, you create your business structure and then you can go for credit. My first credit card was at Home Depot under my business name, but what credit they ran was my personal. And that helped me just start building a line of credit. So this is why we're kind of making sure that our home life and our stuff is together, because if it's not and we don't have self-control, it's really no way that you're going to have a thriving business. Now, I mean thriving for longevity. We have businesses that went viral, but are they still here now? Are they still here now? And that's what we want to make sure. So tracking every penny for at least a month, okay? Meticulously recording every single dollar you spend just for 30 days, guys. Use a notebook, spreadsheet, budget app, whatever you feel comfortable with. Old school, y'all know, y'all like down, young people on the internet, but make sure that you actually are actionable behind the internet. What I have found is that we go into these apps and we look at stuff, but it's not real to us. But when you writing it and things like that, they kind of like open up some reality to you. Okay, so we're going to track every penny for 30 days to see what our actual income is versus what we're spending. Categorize your spending. Once you track your spending, group similar expenses into categories like your household, transportation, food, utilities, debt, payments, entertainment, and personal. Why? Because you're going to want to know where the most of your money that you're spending and what you can cut back. Because now we have to have a personal spending account and we have to have a business planning account. We have to save, and we have to just do little by little. So after you categorize your spending, say, hey, I do a lot of entertainment, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Okay, calculate your net income. Determine your total income after taxes and deductible. This is the amount of money that you actually have available to spend. Again, if you have money coming from different ways, your part-time job, this, that, taxes, and that's realistically where you're gonna start your budget from. This is an example where I just gave you here, pretty simple. This is kind of like a typical household. We have rent, utilities, food, transportation, debt payment, and it's modest because we be broke after all the rest, broke after all the rest of those things, but it's okay. Well, this is a net income of $1,800 a month, and you know, a lot of us, it's sad to say, because of the cost of living and income, we add about $2,000, $2,500 a month, depending. I'm in a professional high value career, and that is kind of like our entry. So let's just keep that in mind. This is kind of about at the normal for monthly spending, don't feel bad. But if you over $2,500, you need to really think about it. That's where you go into those categories, okay? So I threw that out there because that's just a central synopsis of basic bills, but we didn't even talk about insurance. But like I said, look at the categories. It hurt, but for 30 days we about to hurt because we about to get our muscles up. Okay, so building a budget that works. Okay, so again, let me just give you some ideas. I'm old school. So these are some concepts on saving. Put them in your brain and use one of them. 50-30-20 rule, zero-based budget, envelope system. I used to be the envelope girl. I'm still in. Put it somewhere. Don't tell. We on the end there. We ain't telling when we put out envelopes. But let's start with the 50-30-20 rule. Okay, this is just a modified example of it. This rule suggests allocating 50% of your income, 30 to your wants, and 20 to your savings. I know that sounds beautiful. In today's environment, we're probably doing 85% to our actual needs. The needs is the rent, the insurance, blah, blah. So this is adjustable. So these numbers, the 50-30-20 rule has advanced because of our financial situation. But kind of look at it like that, and percentage-wise, if that's how your brain works. But we want to make sure that we have that last part of your category of savings, even if it's 10%. Even if it's going to hurt, but even if it's to add up. Now, the next method that you may want to look at, and the 50-30-20 rule can be implemented by you having 3 different accounts. One for play, one for all your bills, and one for savings, period. The one that you pay your bills on, please don't have the one that's in your debit card every day. That's supposed to be separate. And once you see that, you're going to be able to go back, especially if you got a banking app, it's going to say where your money allocated. It's going to do it for you. But then you have that separate account where this is my 20% to do this, and it goes into that account. It's free to get different accounts. This is where you start. And one, you make sure you don't have a debit card. And that's the way you pay the bills. You just use the routing number and walk away, okay? So zero-based budget. This method involves allocating every dollar in your income to some specified category, so your total income minus your total expenses equals 0. This is when you're on a strict spending, and that's most of us. Even if we don't want to be like that, we be down to 0, but it's okay. This is a method, so we're not doing bad, y'all. A lot of us just living it. Okay, so this forces you to be intentional with every dollar. Start by covering necessities, like I said, rent, food, and allocating the remainder funds to other categories. That's when you focus, like, yo, I'm not even about going nowhere. I'm fasting, I'm chilling for the next 3 months. I'm just paying my bills, but do my little 20%, and that's what it is. That's a zero-based budget where you're not even playing no more. Entertainment is out. Same thing, you have to keep these in mind. What I'm giving you, these methods, is the same methods that you keep when you have your business. Which one is going to work for you? You may have more income for your business. You can do 50-30-20 rule. But then at home, it's a little bit tight, and you do the zero-based budget. Does that make sense? So you just choose what work for the situation. And another method is the old school envelope system. The more